Administrators can configure checkbox learning in an information extraction capture profile. This allows operators to validate data for extracted checkboxes on documents they are reviewing. Core Capture provides two types of checkboxes: checkbox single and checkbox list. In this video, we'll look at each checkbox type and determine which to use depending on your form. First, identify the type of question or statement with checkboxes that the document uses. Some questions or statements have a true or false possibility. Either the user selects the checkbox or leaves it blank. When selected, the response is true. When not selected, the response is false. Some questions propose multiple responses of which only one option is possible or true. And some questions provide multiple options where all the responses might be true, all might be false, or maybe it's a mix of both true and false. Let's learn how and when to use all three scenarios for checkbox configuration. If your question or statement has only a single response option that is either true or false, then use the checkbox single option. If selected, the statement is true. If it's left blank, the statement is false. Let's go to Designer to see how we configure these different types of checkboxes. In your Information Extraction Capture profile, add a checkbox single option. Type a name for your checkbox. For example, Terms of Service. Then enter two selections: I agree, to represent when the checkbox is selected; I do not agree, to represent when the checkbox is left cleared. If your question or statement has only a single response that's possible, but presents the user with multiple options to choose from, then use the checkbox list option. In this checkbox list, the user is asked to identify what type of organization they have. The user is provided with three options, but only one can be true. In your Information Extraction Capture profile, add a checkbox list option. Type a name for your checkbox, for example, Organization, and then enter three selections: Public Sector, Private Sector, and Nonprofit. If your question or statement presents more than one option and multiple responses are possible, then you must use one checkbox single for each response option. In this example, you would need to set up 4 separate checkbox singles, and when configured, a user can select more than one option. Because it's possible that someone could carry more than one credit card, a checkbox list won't work. Here's how you can handle this scenario. In your Information Extraction Capture profile, add your first checkbox single option. Call it Visa. Then add 2 selections, true and false. Continue until you have added all the credit card options you want to include. When presented with this series of options, a user can indicate all the credit cards they carry, and the checkbox extraction will still be valid. And that's how you decide which checkbox types to select when setting up checkbox learning for extraction in Core Capture. For more tips, check out the other videos in this series.